Welcome to The Explainer. What if the global alliances you thought you knew were being redrawn right under our noses? Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating theory about a potential new power block, one called the Hexagon, an alliance that, if real, could completely reshape the world as we know it. So, where does this whole idea even come from? Well, the analysis we're looking at points to one specific moment, a very public, very celebrated meeting between the leaders of India and Israel. But the theory suggests this was way more than just a friendly visit. It was the starting gun for a brand new strategic partnership. Yeah, so that handshake wasn't just your typical photo op. The argument here is that this was the public launch, the big reveal, if you will, of a much deeper alliance, one that's apparently built on a very specific and, frankly, controversial shared goal. And here we get to the absolute heart of the theory. This new partnership is supposedly built around one single unifying idea: to create a common front against what the source labels extremist Islam. This shared mission, the analysis claims, is the very glue holding the whole thing together. Now, let's talk about the name they've supposedly given this new club. It's not just some random code name. It's absolutely packed with meaning, and it's tied directly to the national identity of one of its key players. It's reportedly called the Hexagon of Allies, and that name, Hexagon, is no accident. It's a direct nod to the six-pointed Star of David, a pretty clear signal about who is seen as a central pillar in this new geopolitical group. Okay, so who's on the team sheet for this so-called Hexagon? The theory puts a core trio right at the center: the United States, Israel, and India. But they're not going it alone. You've also got other key partners like Greece apparently being brought into the fold to really bolster the alliance. But hold on, this isn't just about tanks and jets. According to this analysis, the very first move is a battle of words. It's about crafting a story, a narrative, to sell this whole idea to the rest of the world and justify its existence. And that brings us right back to that phrase we heard earlier: extremist Islam. The argument here is that this isn't just some casual term. Nope. It's being wielded as a powerful diplomatic tool, a way to frame the entire conflict and make the alliance's mission sound not just necessary, but completely justified. Okay, so we've talked about the narrative, but now let's get to the hardware, because this theory argues that the real power, the real muscle behind this partnership, is all about military tech, and the transfer of seriously advanced technology is the absolute heart of the strategy. The analysis lays out a pretty straightforward but really powerful three-step playbook. Step 1. Israel develops some of the most cutting-edge weapons on the planet. Step 2. That tech gets handed over to India through the alliance. And Step 3. India suddenly has a massive military advantage over its rivals in the region. It's a simple pipeline that could completely change the game. Yeah, and let's be super clear here. We're not talking about hand-me-down tanks or old planes. The theory claims this is the top-shelf stuff. We're talking laser defense systems, next-gen missiles, and even AI-powered military tech. But out of all this incredible tech, there's one piece that gets singled out as the crown jewel: the Iron Beam system. Now, this sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's very real. It's a laser weapon that can zap missiles and drones right out of the sky. According to the theory, giving a system like that to India would be an absolute defensive game changer. So you might be asking, what's the big picture here? What's the ultimate endgame? Well, according to this theory, it's not just about a few countries getting stronger. The real goal is to literally redraw the entire geopolitical map, creating a whole new world of competing power blocks. And what you get is a world that looks a lot like a new kind of chessboard. On one side, you've got this new Hexagon alliance. And lined up against them, the analysis points to a rival bloc, specifically calling out Pakistan, Turkey, and Iran as the main opposition. So, what's the bottom line? The big takeaway from this theory is that we could be watching a massive global shakeup. The old alliances that defined the 20th century, they might be fading away, replaced by these new, powerful blocs built around totally different interests and, well, different adversaries. And all of this leaves us with one huge, lingering question. If we really are moving into a world defined by new alliances like the Hexagon, what happens to the old ones? In this new game, what happens to the players who are still trying to play by the old rules?